Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and today it's time to dive into Farthest Frontier. We're gonna have a complete look today at this wonderful city builder. Diving into a new settlement, we can choose between 3 difficulty levels, however I'm gonna go into the advanced settings and lower the amount of wildlife and raiders we'll be getting. We'll still be able to explore all the features of the game, but it's not gonna be quite as intrusive in setting us back. I rolled the perfect name for this city, Tombstone. Let's get this started. Here we are, finished scouting the starting area, and we have to decide for a town center. This is going to be permanent, we cannot change that, but we can take our sweet time to decide. With F we can have a look at the fertility, so potentially over here we can set up a bunch of fields. With I we can have a look at how much water we'll be getting by setting up wells. And with G we can see the desirability, which is mostly important for the housing. Yeah, I think we can work with this area. We can set up our town center here, make a pathway going over the pass, and then this is going to be the lakeside. We have lots of fertile land right here to set up our farms. So I'm going to do this approximately here, facing into the left direction. This shall be our town center. And immediately all my villagers start to chop and build. I'm going to pause the game to give some more commands. Right here we have the storage cart. It acts as a moving stockpile. With the harvest resource button, we can go ahead and claim a bunch of these resources, maybe give us better visibility of what's going on here. Another thing we can already do is set up a pathway all the way around the town center. With F2, 3 and 4 you can toggle certain UI elements. I find this useful, and it looks as though we finished the town center of Tombstone. With that out of the way, I'm gonna build a little road away from the town center, and we hop into the building menu in order to build a shelter. I want to leave myself enough space in between the housings in order to set up decorations. They don't actually need to be nearby a path. Something else my villagers are gonna need is a well, most beneficially nearby the housing. Also something we don't want to miss out on is a firewood splitter. This shouldn't be nearby the housings since it comes with a negative effect. For now, I think I'm just gonna set this up nearby the town center. In terms of food production, I would like to get my crop field ready for the next year, so we can actually work with that. And the building process is gonna take quite a while. I guess down here would be a good start. We have a good environmental fertility factor. Soil mixture is a little bit clay heavy, but fertility is also nice. We're gonna sacrifice some resources in order to build that, but I would like to get started with a 7x7 field, which is gonna be worked by 2 workers once it is ready. So let's go ahead and do that, and since we're already at it, I'm actually gonna fence it in right away. In the future I would like to see this protected from wildlife, and then of course it's also gonna come with a fence gate. Nice. Let's build a pathway. For now I'm just gonna go straight over, and I guess we want to connect to this. Oh, look at that, I kind of nailed it. Good, I'm happy. We should be able to finish this in this year. It's just late spring. Yeah, we should be able to finish it. But right now we also need to focus on the housings and of course the firewood. The next thing I would like to set up is a hunting cabin and a forager shack. I'm gonna go ahead and expand the road here slightly. We're gonna go towards this area. Now technically these houses don't need to be in the circle of influence. You can change that later, but it's probably good for storage reasons. So I'm gonna set up that hunting cabin right there. And we're also gonna add a forager shack right next to it. Let's see, can I maybe see it better? It's a quite lush place, I have to say. Okay, there I can place it, the forager shack. This should now give us a good head start on food. Right here we can see we have enough food stored for 9 months. However, within the next 12 months, 3 of those months are gonna be spoiled. So the red number is basically the overproduction right now that we cannot eat. We are missing stones. It's time to harvest some more stuff. So I'm just gonna try to locate a bunch of stones and harvest only those. Also, I would like to keep on building a bunch of houses. 4 is the minimum we require, but if we want our city to grow, we should add more. Wonderful, our first houses are in place. We can now see all the villagers have a space to go, and now they need to be stocked up with resources such as firewood and food. Villagers stricken with dehydration. I did not prioritize, so let's go ahead and focus on that. Yeah, Walfred here just brought the last piece of stone. Is somebody tagging along? Yeah, it is Hedrin. Good, now people can stock up, and what do we have here? Already a villager is sick. There we go, we fixed it because we now have water. And there's also our firewood guy. We can see him eagerly cutting firewood. Wow, he seems to know what he's doing. We also have Efri here who is hunting. Unfortunately, it's quite hard to see her, but she should be getting some deer. And we can also see the forager stack is starting to fill up. We have 4 months worth of food and only 1 month is gonna be spoiled. Yes, that's what I like to see. People preparing the field. And holy cow, that is a wonky fence. Hey guys, at this point I want to quickly mention I would really appreciate you hitting that like button or even putting down a comment. I put a week into this video and it would be absolutely amazing if you signaled to YouTube that this video is worthwhile. Let's continue with the video and thank you. We already found some iron deposits here. This is going to be mighty useful in the future. A bird's nest. There are 12 deers sighted and some nuts, so this is going to be good. Let's maybe move that work radius around. We can see at the bottom what it contains, so maybe we can get a whole bunch of items in there. Yeah, looks like this way we have eggs and mushrooms and nuts. Nice. We're gonna do the same thing with the hunting cabin. Yeah, and it looks like we will mostly find deer here. Hopefully we can also explore a little bit deeper. Something else that might be worth doing is already make a pathway here over the pass. It's because over yonder we have a lake and we might want to introduce fishing at least in year 2. I think for now I'm just gonna go ahead and add more housing. We want to have 6, so more villagers are gonna join. It is now deep winter and it looks like nobody really wants to come out. However, what we might be able to do is get a stockyard going in order to store some of our building materials, and for now I'm just gonna have this nearby. This should be a movable building, so if in the future it gets in our way, it's not gonna be that dramatic. Something else we can do, by the way, is move the berry bushes. So each of the berry bushes that I find I'm gonna place nearby my fields. That is gonna make it much easier in the future. Nice. Check out this site. There is gold, there is sand, iron all over the place, coal. Love it. Ah, we entered year 2. Wonderful. New villager immigrated. And our food stocks are low, but now that it goes towards spring, we should be able to replenish it. Right now, we're just fully dependent on hunting deer and gathering nuts, I believe. Slowly, this is coming along. We still need to invest 1,800 building units, whatever that means. So I'm slightly concerned we're not going to be able to prepare the field fully this year. We'll have to see. For now, to help our food supplies, I'm going to set up another forager right here in the corner. And they will be able to take care of these greens and all the berries here. Something else we can add is a root cellar. This is going to allow us to store the food underground and therefore it doesn't spoil as quickly. I'm going to have this right next to my stockyard. And finally there is a storehouse that kind of acts like the wagon here that allows us to store anything else we cannot store yet. So maybe we're gonna have that right here. I might relocate it in the future. And then what we can do is take this storage cart and maybe bring it somewhere else. It's gonna be beneficial to us. For now, I think I'm just gonna move it over here. See how that works. Yeah, look at that. Amazing. I mean, they are incredibly slow, but I would imagine it actually helps. We actually just went down to 0 months of food, but then somebody collected something. So what I would like to see is a reasonable circle here, including the greens, of course, and then all the berries that are gonna grow this year. And it is Melima who's gonna take over. Age 17, no education. Okay guys, I just accidentally took in 7 new villagers. This is quite a bit and my food reserves only last for another 3 months now. Bodin right here is one of them, age 18. Actually, we might be able to make use of them. But now we really need to focus on getting that field done, and then we also want to find that lake ASAP. Some new buildings we unlocked are the saw pit to produce planks and the tannery to produce some clothing. Those are undesirable buildings, so we don't want to build them close to our living spot. I might start something right here with the saw pit, and the tannery I'm gonna place right next to it for now. Looking at this area here, I might want to go with another forager shack. And then probably right next to it, I'm gonna add the fishing shack. And since we're already at it, we could add the smokehouse, though I would like to add this a little bit closer to the village, since I believe the venison can be used here as well. It's not gonna bother anyone right there. Looks like we have our first seriously sick villager with symptoms of vomiting and diarrhea. Not pleasant. It's time to build another well. Right now I'm gonna do it right there, even though the bonuses aren't that great. But looking at the well right here, it still has 170 buckets stored, so it probably has something to do with the vicinity. Wonderful, we have made our way to the lake finally, and we also already found some bonus resources for fish. So we're gonna grab the work radius from the fishing shack and place it somewhere here. Also, the forager shack is ready. Yeah, this is gonna be totally worth it. Oh no, Melima actually passed away. How very, very sad. We weren't able to save her. Well, honestly, I did not really try. Yes, we have access to the graveyard and also actually the market. We could theoretically go ahead and snuggle a market in here. I'm not sure if the radius can be changed, but it's a desirable building, people won't mind. And then as for the graveyard, I'm not too sure yet. We're gonna make it, let's see, 3 by 3. Let's make it 5 by 5. That should be plenty of bodily storage. Dude, it's already late autumn again. This is not good, and we are just about to finish the field. How very disappointing. Our food stocks are still low. Maybe we can get another hunter cabin in here. Yeah, I'm just gonna have one up there in the mountains overseeing the forest. Here it is, one beautiful graveyard, and we have our first dead. We are ready to deal with everyone that is gonna starve in this winter. It's now also time to clean a little bit up around the village. I'm just gonna try to harvest everything here, get those trees out of the way. Yay, it is year 3, the year we can finally start to work on our fields. Well, we're just gonna prepare them for the next year, but still, it is a tremendous moment. Yeah, we cannot change the work radius of the market, so that has to be inside of your village. And it seems like we're mostly storing food and firewood. But yeah, that is gonna make people much happier, and in due time we shall be able to upgrade these shelters. Yay, we're finally done with our first field. How wonderful. Let's have a look at that. The farming in this game is actually surprisingly complex. We have a fertility rate that depends on the land but can also be improved upon. We have a weed level and rockiness. Luckily enough, the rockiness isn't that bad, however, we have to take care of the weed level. There's also a certain soil mixture. This one here is a little bit clay heavy, and depending on which crops we want to plant, this is important. However, first of all, the weed level is something that dramatically lowers your impact on yield. So what we want to do is add some maintenance as soon as possible. We are starting our maintenance here, and if we're lucky, we can get 3 of them in the joint. Doesn't look like we can, but we can do like 2.5 this year, and maybe that is already enough to lower it at least somewhat. There's another maintenance crop, the clover, that you can use in order to increase the fertility. So it will also not help you in terms of getting food, but it is going to make the yield of your next crop much better. After we've done the maintenance, we can think about what else we can do in the next year. In the beginning, it's going to be fairly cold, so if we have a look through our crops, we need to choose one with a high frost tolerance, preferably 10 of 10. So the beans right here would probably be a bad decision. We could go with carrots, peas, or turnips. Or even cabbage and leek would be an option. If we click on turnips, we can have a look what it does and the estimated yield. The soil mixture isn't perfect for turnips. Let's see what we get with the peas. The soil mixture is already better for the peas. And then finally the carrots, bad soil mixture. Yeah, I think we're gonna start with the peas and then maybe a little bit of turnips. The soil bonus isn't even that bad, and we don't have the space to do carrots as well. I just noticed turnips would be during summer, which don't have a high heat tolerance. If we go with wheat, we don't have the time to do anything else. This might not be the best one, but we could go with buckwheat, which is kind of a downgraded version of it. After that, if we have the space, no space for maintenance. You know, I want to use my time wisely. Maybe we're just going to go for some leek here and fill this up almost entirely. And then after that, we might have to do some maintenance. I'm not gonna plan the 3rd year already. We're gonna have a look at that the next year. So for now, it's clear we are doing the maintenance, and that's all they're gonna be doing this year. Okay, from the looks of it, we just switched over to year 4. So now we are starting to plant the peas, and we can see just how much this was worth it. We now get almost 100% of the possible yield. Rockiness went all the way down, wheat levels to 35%, and now we'll see how it develops over time, so maybe we'll have to add some maintenance every now in between our crop rotation. You can also see that the rotation happens by itself, so this is now our first year that switched to year 3. And of course in year 3 we will not want to do the same thing, that was just to get the field ready. I also noticed Ulia here did not actually catch any game recently. We can attempt to move the hunting grounds a little bit, maybe over to the foresty area. Hopefully we'll discover some more of the terrain this way. Now, another thing I noticed we might be able to do is upgrade the town hall. All we need is a couple more people, actually just one more person. And will you look at that, yearly taxes collected, 65 gold coins. That is actually very useful information, because what that is going to allow us is to set up a compost yard that is going to cost us 4 gold a month. I'm gonna set up the compost over here. This is also an undesirable building, and before I forget, I actually moved the entirety of my village or the living quarters over here, including the market. So now we can set up a whole bunch of houses around the market, and they are all gonna be included. Right now we are about to move the last houses. I think I'm gonna add an extra house either way. That one is gonna go right here. And then we should be able to move the last 2 houses as well. Should we also set up a well? No, I already got one. But honestly, I might want to move that right over here. Yeah, I think I like that in the corner better. Will you look at that? We have some peas growing. They're actually almost harvest ready from the looks of it. Our compost is done, and finally people can bring their poop that we stored for 4 years to this site. And of course the people in the saw pit are very thankful for that addition. Yeah, time to add yet another house. Oh, 2 villagers have been born. Let me see, this house might be a little bit too close for comfort. Let's still put it there. That means we now have enough people to theoretically upgrade the town hall. I'm just not sure what triggers the first rate. Maybe that is it. But you know, we'll never know if we won't try. Can we upgrade it? I think so. Yeah, look at that. Some wonky scaffolding and 33 planks. Impending heat wave. Are you freaking serious? Fortunately enough, I'm planting some leek, which has a high heat tolerance. And now we have a predator sighted. Jeez, everything goes wrong since I upgraded the town hall. Here we go. There are actually some wolves. So that is my new hunting ground. We probably found a wolf den. And Ulia is attacking. Is that a really good idea? Oh my gosh, look at that. The bow did a really good job here. Stockpiling meat. This is amazing. We actually managed to kill the wolf. So bows are really important in this case. Looks like we finished upgrading the town center. So far we are providing everything the villagers require, including an overall happiness of 97%. Next upgrade comes at 150 population, so that is gonna take a while. Let's focus on other things. Did we, for instance, unlock more stuff? Yeah, we now have access to tier 2 amenities, but they come with a pretty high monthly cost that I don't know how to cover just yet. We could go ahead, set up a wagon shop in order to build more of these wagons, the mobile storage. The granary in order to store wheat and other grains. That might be useful. Actually, we might want to go ahead and put this nearby the fields. Yeah, I don't really know yet. Let's just go ahead and set it up here. So I know, everything that is nearby here. At some point, I'm gonna move it just like the housing quarters here. And then we also get access to the vault where we can store our gold pieces. We should probably go ahead and set this up as well. Gonna have you snuggled right against this wall. Now this one actually requires some smelted bars. Let's see if we can find something in the resource production. Yeah, that's what I thought. So far we have a tannery and a saw pit. Let's go ahead and set up this guy here, the cobbler shop. This shop right here is gonna produce some shoes for us. Next up we have the Fletcher building in order to produce bows and arrows. Very important, as we figured out. And then apart from the compost yard, we also have this basket shop to produce baskets. And I'm assuming this is gonna make people more efficient in hauling things. We can fit that right here. Now, of course, this is a little bit of a cramped road, but as mentioned, when I have a better idea of the city planning, I will move everything. Thankfully, the game makes it really easy to do so. We also have the possibility to set up some apiaries. Interesting. I might want to try that out nearby the field here. I'm just gonna set up one, since it also requires workers and I just want to observe how it behaves. Geez, there are all these different buildings that are now gonna require some workers. Maybe in the end we'll have to prioritize somewhat. Anyways, let's get a potter building going. Wow, that one is huge. Let's get this started over here. We'll have to remove some of these trees now. There's also the weaver building that probably requires flax or something we don't have access to just yet, so we'll also have to make sure that actually people aren't occupied with professions they cannot execute. There's also a candle shop that has more to do with the bees, so I'm probably just gonna set it up here. Yeah, I think that's a good location. It's using the beeswax. Then there's also a soap shop. Ooh, people are not gonna be fond of having that nearby. Now the buildings we cannot make use of, I think I'm gonna put them over here first. You know what? Actually, forget about this. We're just not gonna build what we cannot make use of just yet. Something else I do want to set up is the charcoal kiln. Let me see. Yeah, we probably don't want to place this nearby. We can have it snuggled against the road here. And what this is going to do is take some wood in order to produce charcoal. Finally, there is the armory, but that also requires some smelted goods. We first have to find the furnaces and everything. I'm also going to set up a wagon shop here, since it is a prerequisite for another building. Alrighty, we are back. It is now year 5 or 6. We have 50 people right there. I relocated everything that has to do with crafting over there. We probably need a little bit more housings. I spent an entire year to maintain the field and also sown a little bit of clover to increase the fertility. This year we harvested some cabbages, now we're going for flux, and the next year we're gonna do some maintenance again. However, it so happened that we got a crop disease. The field is infected and it might actually last for a couple of years, which is kind of a shame, but I wanted to go for flax in order to get some more materials for the buildings that we have. One important ingredient we are currently missing is the clay, and I think we already found a location for clay, and now we also unlocked, let me see, resources, all of the tier 2 items there. That means we can set up work camps, we can have clay pits and all that good stuff. So clay and iron are going to be our most important resources right now. Let's set up a clay pit right here somewhere. This is actually obstructed by the road. Yeah, let's just go ahead and delete this road. And now I'm actually able to set up the clay pit here, and we're just going to redo the road. Next up, I would like to see an iron mine, and this is considerably small. But I'm guessing we just want to make sure we encompass the entirety of the area there. And this should give us access to 2 very important materials. At this point, we might want to look into upgrading our houses, and in order to do so, we might want to increase the desirability. At the moment, it is not extremely great. We can have a look at decorations, and there are things that improve the situation more or less. For instance, a large park, we can see desirability at the moment is around 11%, and if we get that park close, it's already 26%. However, all of these decorations usually cost a little bit of money, so we're not gonna go too crazy yet. We're gonna have a bunch of small gardens, for instance. You know, actually, the garden trail might be worth placing between the houses. It costs 15 gold. Currently, we have almost 300. So I think I'm gonna do that, and we shall see what it does with the desirability. At the moment they are 9%, but I think at this point it's time to set up some more houses. I'm gonna do about 2 more, and I'm just making sure they stay within the radius of the market. Our mine is in place, and we already got some iron ore in store. Nice. The clay pit is still being built at this point. Looks like we are currently harvesting the flax, so at least we can use it for something. Considering we're gonna have access to clay soon, I'm gonna open up the pottery with maybe 2 slots. Up to 6 people can work there. Let me actually see. How many people do we have working? Yeah, right now we only have 4 people free. We need more people. In terms of field work, I'm gonna go with a bunch of clovers, so we actually increase the fertility. And then I guess we could attempt our luck with a bunch of beans. Predator sighted. Now, usually that isn't too bad because Ulia is like a badass. I mean, look at that. Very short work of that wolf. Nice, look at that. With the gardens in place, the desirability went way up. So it's totally worth it. All we have to do is get it to 30%. In this case, I'm gonna make sure to set up a garden in between each of the spots that I have set up here. It did cost us a little bit of gold, but it's gonna be totally worth it. Also, if we ever need more food, there are more deers and berries. Also, I noticed we can actually produce baskets. That is not actual wheat. We do have a little bit of that in store. What was it? Right here, the willow. So it's totally worth it to set up a basket shop. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right here. I think the weaver building right here is one building that I neglected building because it does require flax to produce anything. And then finally the soap shop, I'm also gonna go ahead and build that. But for that one, we're definitely still missing something. Well then, currently my village is prospering, however, we need to get into the next step. I did have some deaths due to some diseases over the winter. Our next goal is gonna be to upgrade the Tombstone Great Hall once again. For that we need a whole bunch of houses, but also a school and a trading post, and those are the 2 next things I would like to build. Before we do that though, I did set up another field since we are slowly and steadily growing, already 76, and I decided to go for some carrots and wheat this year around. So we are also going to need a windmill to process the wheat, and we're going to need a bakery to produce some flour. For now, I'm gonna plop both of these buildings right here, and then hopefully as soon as I get the wheat, we will be able to make use of it. Now to set up the trading post, I believe I'm just gonna do that right on top of the mountain here. And then finally a school building that is gonna cost us 100 gold. However, this is gonna increase the desirability of most of our buildings here. And I figured we should be able to set this up right here, though the last buildings are not gonna profit from that. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pity, but I might be able to solve that in some or the other way. For now, this is where the school is gonna go. I also relocated the compost yard to over here, so we have better access to all the housings. Belda right here was almost not able to keep up with shipping the poop. Another 7 people have arrived at my village. Are we ready to take them in? I'm actually not sure. Can I have a look at the professions? Yeah, we only have 3 laborers left. I think I'm just gonna accept them and we're gonna build another house. And I guess I'm gonna keep building towards this direction. We can then in the future set up another market here as we expand the living quarters. Did we get some wheat? Yes, 766. That's not even too shabby. The fertility went down a little bit. 7% wheat level is not too shabby, but I think I would like to add some clover here. Maybe even almost a full year of it. Can we get some turnips in there? Yeah, actually, let's forget about that. We're only gonna do clover once. And then I would like to try some flax again. Not sure what we're gonna do the following year just yet. And then eventually I will have to find my crop rotation, maybe in combination with the other field. In order to build the windmill, we're gonna need heavy tools. And to produce those, we need a blacksmith forge. That means we need to focus on upgrading the town hall. The cost should be easy enough to acquire. However, 150 people, we need the infrastructure for that. Yeah, maybe now let's focus on upgrading the housing. We just need to have the school built and then we can do the first few. Impending blizzard. Ah, no, that's not good. Okay, that means the winter is gonna be especially harsh. And I'm assuming we're gonna require more firewood. For that purpose, I'm gonna set up another firewood splitter here. And hopefully if we prioritize that, we can survive the blizzard. Oh no, there it is, the blizzard. Oh my gosh, we're so screwed. And it's not even proper winter yet. The blizzard is over and we went down to 33 firewood. Now guys, you need to hurry up a little bit. I have 9 laborers at the moment. That's not too shabby. We can sacrifice 2 more to get that under control. Though at the moment it looks like we're already doing it. A building is on fire. That's usually not a good sign. The smokehouse, of course. Our closest well is here. That should maybe work. Let's see what the people are doing. We have a little bit of time before it burns down. Look at that! Another villager is sick. And then predator sighted. Jeez, but Ulia should be... yeah, she already took care of that. So let's have a look at the burning building. People are bringing water. As long as we have wells nearby, that's usually not a problem. Yeah, the day is saved. Except somebody is sick and we do not have access, or actually we might. Yeah, the healer's house right here. Though the monthly cost is $100, but I saw a tip online. So what we technically could do is just put it on the opposite side of the graveyard. Well, it has nothing to do with the graveyard. I just found it fitting. If it doesn't work with the healer, you know, then we are already nearby. I'm gonna go ahead and set up another well. Looks like we need some more of those. Oh no, we were too late to save the villager. Somebody died. Okay, well, they are technically replaceable. And then my second field is finally ready. We can see weed level and rockiness is really bad. So we're gonna go with a couple of rounds of maintenance. Oh, look at that. There it is. The school. And the buildings are actually upgrading all on their own. Well, that is actually phenomenal. Yeah, we're really close right here. Why doesn't this one want to upgrade? Raiders sighted. Oh, geez. Now let's see what the best course of action is. I mean, we have many people, right? If I just select them all and we bring them here, will that go? Oh no. Guys, are you not... yeah, they're not gonna attack, are they? No, actually we do attack some of them from the looks of it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think what I want to do is really select most of my people and then we're gonna bring them here so they focus on one guy at a time. No, actually, they are just running away. Come on, guys, do something. 12 villagers attacked, building destroyed, villagers slain by raiders. And are they just gonna go again? So they were just making some ruckus. The clay deposit building has been destroyed. No, that's not right. The storehouse here. Okay, and we have to click rebuild. Oh, will you look at that? On the plus side, we now have a trader. Just to figure out how this is working, we're gonna transfer some grain over. Let's maybe do 200 units, and we're gonna get someone to ship that over. The trader has 1,900 gold. It would be really great to actually sell him something. What about a bunch of hide coats? They might be worth quite a bit. I'm just gonna do about 20. Yeah, sure, we can craft some new ones. Looks like the raid is officially over. Raiders killed 3 villagers. Items pillaged 200 gold ingots. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's why we're so poor. But will you look at that? Our first homestead right there. Now the upgraded versions here, I believe, are gonna require a little bit more care. And right here we have Patra, the 26-year-old teacher seeking food. But yeah, we now officially have a school system. Now we somehow have to fix the food situation. We did lose quite a bit of it, but some more food should be incoming shortly. Also, we want to make sure that right now we do not hire anyone as our healer, so we don't have to pay the fees. Okay, in the trading post we have 13 hide codes so far, and I just noticed we can actually see how much gold we are getting. That means I could go ahead and sell all the codes. I mean, this is probably not the wisest choice to do that, but for the heck of it, I might have to check what is more profitable and what we shouldn't give away. But there we have it. Now we only have to decide what exactly we want to sell. The candles here are worth 20 gold pieces, which is not too bad. We could keep them in stock here, but I'm just gonna transfer a whole bunch. Well, let's do about 30 and then we're gonna sell those. Alright guys, I am back. This is now my second attempt on the same exact world, so I just restarted it with the knowledge that we acquired and I tried to plan out the city accordingly. For instance, now all the buildings that are usually targeted by the raiders are walled in and somewhat protected. As a protection, we currently have this lookout tower. It's not gonna do much, but it's better than nothing. We have the living area with all the housings right here and all the important stuff such as the market. There is a candle shop, you know, the basket shop, cobbler shop, everything that can be close to the houses without degrading the desirability. Of course, we also feature a school and finally the Fletcher building. So those are the first 2 areas. If we want to expand the living space, we can recreate one of these wherever we want. A third area are gonna be the fields. I intend to have about 6 of these 10 by 10 fields. We're gonna also collect all the berry bushes, maybe make a tree farm. Here are my bee houses, and over here is the industrial complex. We have the compost, the tannery, the soap shop. There are the saw pits and the firewood splitters, the smoke houses and all that stuff that usually bothers people when it is nearby the housing. Furthermore, all around the world I placed these forager shacks and of course the hunter cabins, so they are bringing in quite a bit of food. We now have 88 people and 9 months worth of food. So the one food source we don't have access to, contrary to the first save, is over here at the lake. We still aren't really fishing. My next goal, of course, is going to be to get to tier 3 with the town hall. For that we need plenty of gold. You get the gold from the market, as well as the upgraded houses. I believe they also pay you some taxes. If we have a look at the workers right now, we have 18 laborers, which is great. That means I could probably set up another field, which I'm gonna do. So we want to see another 10 by 10 field right there, and I'm gonna fence it in right away. So just continue the fencing here. Gonna add fence gates on either side so they can start working on that. The trading post, of course, is also inside the walls. This also means it is close to our storages and it's gonna be easy to ship things over. Oh, will you look at that? 10 raiders sighted. So that's gonna be interesting. I think what I want to do is grab all of my people and bring them right inside the town center. And I just want to make sure the people are inside of the walls because that's where the raiders are most likely gonna attack. We have 2 people inside the lookout tower. 2 villagers attacked. Where are they being attacked? Oh no, they actually killed someone. Wait, Cladden. I think he's still alive. Oh well, let's just see what they do. Here are the raiders. They are incoming and it looks like, yeah, they are attacking some of the buildings. Dude, what is going on? Ah, okay, my lookout towers are actually doing something now. And they are... Wait, we are doing it. We're actually killing the raiders. Now the problem is just I need to figure out what I can do about the other buildings. Like this guy, I probably need soldiers. In order to heal villager wounded in combat, you need a healer's house. Yeah, we already established that. But it is just too darn expensive. Let's just make new babies. But guys, is nobody gonna challenge this raider here? Looks like no. No, he's going away. Wait, we actually have more people than before. Did we just birth 2 people while the raid happened? And now 8 more people have arrived. Can we actually take them on? I mean, we will be getting some more food. Sure, let's do that. We want a couple more shelters. I'm gonna go with 3 more here. Let's actually do the whole lot. So that's gonna be 8 more houses in total. Very nice. I also already placed a couple of parks, as you can see here, that did dramatically improve the desirability. And then I guess we need to rebuild the market. Yeah, told you they like to target that one. Maybe we should also protect it with a lookout tower. Here are the raid stats. Raid size 10, we killed 5 of them, villagers killed 0, and buildings destroyed 1. So that was the market. Items pillaged, none. I declared this a success. Well, it was our first raid, the easiest, but that was already much better than the first attempt. Well, okay, we lost 1 villager that died from wounds. What you gonna do? Alrighty, we are back in year 14 or 15 it is, and we established around 200 people. I also went into the windmilling industry, so we are now baking bread with these bakeries. And in order to do that, I just purchased the missing ingredients to build the windmill from traders. I also added another lookout tower. The second raid did not go that well. They actually plundered quite a few things. My compost areas are starting to fill up. I added another one here on the other side right there. And you can actually use the compost to fertilize your fields. Another addition is the barn right here. I already purchased 2 livestock from the traders and they got their first cow child right there. So as soon as this barn is established and we get enough cow population, we will also be slaughtering them for meat and hides. You have to set the grazing site, which is currently right here, so they can spend most of the year in that field. You can also clearly see I added more fields and I moved my apiaries so they cover more of the fields. Let me see if I can click that right there. So they are now spread all over the place and they're producing good honey. Meanwhile, the candle shop is producing a whole bunch of candles. Most of them are distributed amongst the people, but some of them I also bring to the traders because it seems to be an easy item to sell. Together with the grain industry, I decided to move into my final crop rotation, so now we have 2 different rotations going on. As for the upper fields right here, let's have a look at them. It's the same rotation for all fields, it's just shifted 1 year for each. On this field we're going for beans, then clovers, in the second year turnips, clovers and maintenance, and in the third year clovers and wheat. The goal is basically to get the different types of foods. We have protein, grain, vegetable, fruit and dairy. With the fields we can cover the grain and vegetables, however there is a further distinction, there are root vegetables and greens. So the goal is to get some greens, root vegetables in the second year and wheat in the third year. And by just shifting that 1 year, we will be getting all 3 types of food in each year. So that is the first rotation with the upper 3 fields, and the lower 3 fields they go for another rotation. This time around it's some peas, clover, maintenance, clover, we got some buckwheat, and finally in the third year some leek and clover leaves. And that is also the same thing for each of the fields here, just rotated 1 year. Finally, I have a third field, and this field is going to be responsible to give me the flax for all the clothing requirements. We're just gonna do flax every third year. This field is completely new, so the final rotation isn't in place just yet. But yeah, now essentially we can check out the fields. We're gonna choose the field with the lowest fertility, and it seems to be this one here at the bottom. So all we have to do is grab the compost here and apply it to this field for the next year. And so we don't have to worry too much about fertility. In terms of fertility, it should also go up because clovers restore 3%, so that would already be 9% here with the clovers. And then finally the beans right here, they also restore 1%, so we get 10% while the wheat takes 5%, I believe. Oh no, this is actually gonna impact the fertility by 6%, okay. But I guess every couple of years we can use the compost to rectify that issue. While exploring the surrounding areas, I also discovered a lake right here that is much closer than the other one, and I set up my fishing huts so they fish in very lucrative spots where we get many nodes. Right here, we also have some fishing bonuses. So right now we have 2 fishing huts, and of course that is greatly helping, especially over the winter. Now, I'm tuning back in with you because I think it's time to finally upgrade the town hall. We have all the required materials. We are just waiting for a couple more gold ingots. Now, I think I have way too much flour here. So why don't we go ahead and store some of it in the trading post? Like right here, we can transfer some of these items. Let's maybe store 1,000 in here, and we're gonna sell that to the next trader. Looks like 500 is the maximum. We wanna keep that in stock. Confirm. Currently, I'm making 51 gold a month, mostly through homestead and luxury goods. It also looks like we should have built the living quarters a little bit further away from the fields. I think they are quite impacted here in terms of desirability. But as soon as we get the tier 3 town hall, which I think, yeah, we can now go ahead and upgrade that. When we have that, we will be able to add many more decorative buildings to increase the desirability. But of course, also with the tier 3, there come many new items that we can make use of. Let me actually see what is more important here. Yeah, people can surely use a pub brewery. What is this? Apothecary, and then of course a theater. That is going to be really expensive, but it's going to upgrade the entirety of the town. And it looks like I won't get around building more houses immediately, so we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna make sure to add 8 more of these boogers. Wait, I think we're already done. Yeah, look at that. There's another upgrade, of course. A population count 300, that is gonna take a while. Unlocking tier 3 gave us access to the furniture workshop. That is gonna be very intriguing, but the brewery here, I think I'm gonna place that right away, next to my granary storage. We also finally get the foundry to smelt down the iron and gold we've collected for quite a few in-game years. Also need to organize some more heavy tools. Maybe we can now craft them ourselves. There is the brickyard. I happen to know we need access to that. We already have the coal and the clay to do so. And I think I'm just gonna slap this guy right there. Finally, we have the glass maker. Sand is something I haven't organized just yet, but we can do that. Gonna put the glassmaker right there. Let's have a look at the sand digging site. We have a sand pit that is right up there. Now I'm not sure if I can actually access that, because if I try to place this here, the slope is way too steep, and I don't presume we can kind of flatten this area. Can we? Oh, we might be able to somehow. But yeah, I guess you get the basic gist. I'm gonna continue on my merry way, developing the town a little bit, and I'm gonna be back with another update. Alrighty, we are back, and it is now quite a few years later. I developed the city. Half of the city right now is in desperate need of repair. I might have expanded a little bit too quickly, and just before I actually decided to set up the healer's hut, which was a wise decision, I had a pretty bad epidemic. But that is a couple of years in the past. By now the settlement is pretty stable. I even expanded by 3 more fields, which are currently in preparation. The industrial district also has expanded, and the most important part is the smeltery industry, as well as crafting all the ingredients such as heavy tools and of course all the gold and iron bars. The reason I have so much gold right now is because I'm basically just smelting it up. That is giving me the most bonuses, and I just noticed this glass forge is actually something new, and I'm gonna fill it up right away because I have an endless amount of laborers. Every time I'm lacking a material, I'm just building the same exact building and increasing the production. The only thing I'm getting way too much of, and I just simply cannot process, is the grain. So I think for now I'm just gonna transport some to the trading post and we're gonna sell it. And we're gonna do the same thing with the flour, and we're just selling it every time we can. By now I also have access to the vault right here, so all my gold ingots are stored in here, including some of the armor. And then right here we have the barracks that I'm now slowly filling up. Since we have so much gold per year, I would suggest we're gonna fill this up all the way. So we have 12 soldiers, and of course that also means we need to equip them. But you can see I increased my defenses, so with each of these rings I have another guard tower that is currently shooting down raiders as we speak. Currently we are under siege by the raiders, which is why I'm tuning back in. I just want to show you that hopefully by now we are much better protected. Also, before I forget, most of my buildings are now upgraded to level 2, which for most of the buildings seems to be the maximum level. So if we have a look at this storehouse, for instance, I can upgrade that just using a bunch of the bricks, some of my gold and wooden planks. Also, another important building right here is the cooper, producing a bunch of barrels, and this is actually going to make my food last much longer than usual. Also, wherever I could, I upgraded the pathways already and I made a pathway to my mining sites. So right now we have access to 2 iron mines. There is a gold mine that I'm gonna keep filling up, and last but not least, there is the coal mine. I did not actually manage to claim the sand pit site here, so we'll have to do that somewhere else. So without any further ado, let's have a look at the raiders. They're coming in from this side. So let me just activate the thingy here. Oh my gosh, it's actually quite a few. Villagers are under attack. Just run, people, run! Now sometimes the raiders just go for random sites such as this fence gate. I'm not sure why they destroyed it. But as soon as they enter my town, of course, my towers are starting to shoot, which is great. They are going to attack them, but that is okay. What about the raiders here at the bottom? Oh no, they are also attacking these buildings, so I will have to set up some towers here. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on. Too many raiders to actually keep track of. So we're just gonna let things play out and hopefully we are gonna survive the one or other thing. But that was definitely one of the biggest raids. So far I actually got away pretty scot-free. But let's see how many buildings they claim in the end and just how much loot they actually gathered. Man, it is still happening. Jeez, okay, they managed to destroy the market square. I'm really sad about that. At least they didn't go for the theater this time. And I think at this point, yeah, they're actually going away. But jeez, that is really bad. Not really the outcome I was hoping for. Now we just have to find all the destroyed buildings and rebuild them. Unfortunately, there is no way to keep track of what is actually destroyed. Oh my gosh, look at this mess. They destroyed the bakery. What a bunch of cruel bastards. Now I think we want to prioritize the market, otherwise I might get into troubles with the desirability again. Because the next step would be to get 25 large houses, so the next upgrade in the joint. 300 people should be easily possible with my current setup. There is the summary of the raid. 54 raiders, 32 we managed to kill, 7 villagers were killed and 23 buildings destroyed. They managed to plunder 200 gold ingots and 2 iron. So it's not the worst outcome ever, but devastating enough in my opinion. Now the healer will have plenty to do. Right now 10 of 10 beds occupied. I'm gonna upgrade the amount of builders I have to 10 until the repairs are actually done. Also worth noting, by now I have 5 firewood buildings all the way upgraded and I'm still running low on firewood every now and then. Well, here we are back again. It is now year 48 and I basically upgraded everything to the maximum. We are even getting some really fancy housing in the joint, the manor. So most of the buildings around the town square upgraded because we have a very high desirability here. The only thing that isn't tier 2 yet is the theater, but everything else basically I took care of. All the buildings that can be upgraded are upgraded, including the town center. Tier 4 seems to be the last one, and it seems as though this is also what enables the upgrade to manor. Right here we can see entertainment, shoes and cleanliness are lacking in our town. But the trade center is upgraded. We have an upgraded barracks that can now take 24 soldiers. We have the ability to pay them even though it costs us quite a bit of money. Right here in the industrial zone, I realized I need a lot more wooden planks. Now, this is one of the things that actually annoys me a little bit about the game. The only way I can initiate the upgrading process is by actually having the items in my inventory, but I'm constantly using up the items in other buildings, such as making furniture with it, or with the smelted iron, I'm immediately using it up to produce the tools and everything. And I wish there was kind of a limit that I can set to the global storage, but we just keep on producing and producing, and so I have to disable certain buildings in order to gain other materials, or I just build so many production buildings that I outpace the usage, but then once I don't use it as often, I would be overfilling my storages with it, and so this is a little bit of a conundrum. But let's have a look at that attack. It is happening over here and we now have 71 raiders. Now, I did not yet upgrade my lookout towers. That is actually one thing I totally forgot to do, but that was because I was lacking the wooden planks. So let's hope I have enough towers. I spread some more all the way around, and this time around we should also have enough weapons. Now, once again, it is not extremely clear what is happening, and also at this size already the game starts to stutter quite heavily sometimes. So I have to say, in terms of GUI controls and optimization, this game still needs a little bit of work in my opinion. The gameplay is solid, but at this point I believe we explored everything except getting into more hardcore settings, which would just make these raids a lot worse than they already are. But, you know, I'm not particularly enjoying them the way they function right now, but it does feel satisfying at the end of the video because I was about to wrap things up and now I don't really have to rebuild it. I rather fancy starting another town with what I've learned. Here we are. This is another thing that is actually kind of irritating, that I have to find the buildings without workers and replace them manually. But there you go, that's about it. It's a little bit of a shame that my town had to be razed to the ground here. I guess the more expensive buildings are actually still in place. But yeah guys, I would say with that out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode of Nathan Plays. The next week, or maybe in 2 weeks, I'm gonna go with another game. I'm just playing through the entirety of the game for a week or maybe 2, depending on the size of the game. And then I'll be coming back with another video. And I would really appreciate your support on these videos with a like, maybe a subscription, but definitely also a comment, because the comment makes you human. And I happen to like humans. Wonderful guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.